Hi, this is Ben Hollifield from Yanza Labs, bringing you a demo of the latest features for Postmaster email routing from Yanza Labs. Now, Postmaster has been around for quite some time. You can find older videos that give you a more in-depth look at some of the legacy functionality that still exists in the app, but we've changed quite a lot. So I wanted to show you a demo of some of the new features and some of the more powerful things you can now do with Postmaster. So for those who don't know, Postmaster is an app that manages and routes incoming email into ServiceNow. If you've dealt with inbound actions in the past, you know they can be a little unwieldy, hard to manage, and just a lot of code to deal with that sometimes gets tangled and you get unexpected results. Postmaster tries to tame all that by giving you a data-driven interface by which to set up email routing to do what you want to do with your emails. Let me show you a test email routing rule here. So when you create an email routing rule from Postmaster, you give it a name and you set a few things. Which table you want to send an email to, where you want to map the subject to, where you want to map the body to, and a few other things. One of the most important parts of a rule is the condition. You tell Postmaster what conditions must exist on the incoming email in order for this rule to trigger. One of the most typical things we see is customers using recipients as the trigger. Perhaps you have a help request email address that people send emails to when they want to request something new. We can trigger against that to route into this Postmaster rule. In this case, it's a really simple rule. We're actually just sending to incident. Anytime we get an email on this address, we'll map the subject to short description, email body to work notes, and that's it. And I can come over here and look at the email. I've already processed this email, and we can see the incident that was created. It's nothing fancy. It's just a basic incident with all the defaults and the short description of the incoming email. Now, let's say we want to do something a little bit more fancy. In this case, we know it's for an iPhone request. This is our help request email address. Instead of sending this incident, let's send it to request item. And let's automatically trigger an order of an Apple iPhone 5. I know it's a little bit old at this point, but times are rough. That's what we get. So let's do that, and let's just create that request. So we can save this. I'm going to reprocess this email, and we'll give it a second to finish reprocessing, and we'll see what happens. While we're doing that, we'll look at a few more things on this Postmaster rule. We can do a lot of stuff here. Instead of just mapping the subject and the body to certain places on the record, we can also apply a template. Any template you desire, you can create that template and map from an email to this address. Go ahead and preset some values with that template. All right, let's go over here and see if this is processed now. Sure has. This time it created a request item because we modified that in our Postmaster rule. Let's look at that request item. Again, nothing too fancy. It's just all the variables are at their defaults, but we have the right requested for, the right items. So now we've generated a request from an email. Very cool. Something else we can do here, if we don't want to use a template, we can actually apply a script. And this gives us a server script to do whatever you want to do server-side with. You can perform queries to other tables, get some related data in order to populate this record. Now you can set values on the record on the form itself or even in the catalog variables. Here we'll say that newrec.variables.carrier needs to be Cricket Wireless for this new order that we're placing. So let's save this, reprocess this email, and we'll give it a second again. While we're waiting, we'll talk about a new feature in Postmaster we've also added called Error Event. One thing that ServiceNow doesn't necessarily handle well is letting us know when things are going wrong in inbound email processing. That means you could just lose incidents, lose requests, lose emails coming in from your customers if things aren't going right in your inbound actions. Postmaster now helps out with that by anytime we see an error occur during email processing for a Postmaster rule, we'll generate an event. You can do whatever you want to with that event. You can trigger a notification to your ServiceNow admins, generate an incident that something's going wrong with email, generate an email back to the person who sent the email saying something went wrong, please try again, or call the help desk. Super useful for helping us to not lose incoming emails. Let's go back and check this request again. We have created a new one now. Now let's look at this. It's the same as the old request, except now we'll see that we have automatically set the allocated carrier to Cricket Wireless. That didn't exist before. So we're seeing ways that we can automatically set values and take some of the guesswork away from the person who's actually performing this request. Let's go back again. So that's great, but instead of scripting, how about if we could auto-map fields from email? What this does is it enables us to take contents in an email and automatically map them to catalog variables. Let's look at the contents of this email. If we preview the email, we'll see here We have a few things preset. Have urgency of high, allocated carrier, Cricket Wireless, variables.data plan equals unlimited. We'll see we're mixing and matching internal field values and field names and display field values and field names. A little bit tricky. And we also don't necessarily expect our end users to be typing this in email. This could be coming from an external system as an integration, but we can also let our end users or people from the help desk send emails with these types of field value pairs in them and see if ServiceNow can, or Postmaster can, parse these out and make them work for the request. Let's reprocess this email. And again, we'll give it a second to do what it needs to do. Now, there are some cases where you may not want to let people map any fields on your records from email. So in that case, we have added this option to prohibit auto map fields. You can list field names here that you want to always keep emails from auto mapping to. And in addition, we're just creating one rule here, but you can create dozens or hundreds of Postmaster rules if you have the need in your environment. They will all be checked whenever a new email comes in, and you can set the order in which they're checked. And essentially, it will go through those in order until it finds a match. As soon as it finds a match, it'll stop processing. If it never finds a match in Postmaster, then it'll move on in your existing inbound actions in your instance, and so you don't preempt those. You just run Postmaster first, and if no Postmaster matches, you'll keep on processing as normal. All right, let's go back here and see what's happened with our email processing. Reload this, and we see we do have a new rhythm now. And based on the auto mapping that we performed, we'll see that now we have more fields populated. Now it's Cricket Wireless. It's set to that monthly data allowance of unlimited. And we can't see it on the form here, but it is set to an urgency of high. And so you can go ahead and boost those things up with urgency or priority to get them addressed faster. So in short, that's the new Postmaster. It was quite simple before, but effective. But now we've added new options to be more intelligent about how we set values for catalog items and form requests. We've had better error handling. We've added some new behind-the-scenes intelligence about how we map different data types to different fields, things that you won't see on the surface, but will make a difference in your quality of life using the app. We hope this is useful to you guys. We have dozens of customers who really love this solution. If you think it might be a good fit for your environment, please go try it out on the ServiceNow store. You can try a trial for free, and if you like it, you can buy it from us right from the ServiceNow store. Thank you very much. Talk to you soon. Bye.